Hi, this is Diane Greco-Allen, and today I'm addressing the trap that moms get into. It's the mom trap. And our families starting back to school, you got a lot going on in your life right now. Okay, so you're sending your kids off to school, you're trying to figure out if they're going to be in school, if they're going to be home, if they're on virtual class or whatever. So, the mom trap. I just talked to a gentleman who is a grandfather and he helps his daughters. Both of them have children. One has four children and the other one has three. Now, I raised four children, so I know that mom trap because I was in that mom trap. So, some of the things you have to take into consideration is what are you viably able to do? Let's talk about a SMART goal. What is reasonable for the activities that you're going to introduce to your child while they're learning? Okay, now we can't stress enough how stress impacts our health. And at the beginning of the school year, the children are getting adjusted, just to going to school. And then there's all these additional activities and sports and things like that. So you got to really hone in on what's important, what is going to serve you and your family, and how can you manage, especially if you have three or four children, maybe more. How can you physically, mentally, and emotionally be there for yourself, your family, and your children for all these activities? So this gentleman this morning, as I was walking the dog, mentioned that there was a softball team that was it didn't have enough players, and they wanted to ask this little girl who was already playing soccer to play up into the softball program, and asked her to, because they were short. No, they asked the mother. I fell into these traps too. And I want to tell you, moms, put your hand up right now, put that stop sign up and say, is this manageable? Is it feasible? Is this going to stress my child out? Is it going to stress our family out? Be reasonable with the expectations for you and your family. That mom trap is, I can do everything and our kids can do everything and we can be everywhere together. No, 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 no. I need you to put your hand up and think, is this going to work? Whether you have a job outside of the home, whether you're working inside of your home, whatever it is, I want you to take these things into consideration. I do my 5 points of awareness every single day. And every single day, it comes down to your breathing and meditation. Okay? We have to tune in to what's going on in our lives every day. Every morning, wake up. What is your intention? Where are you focused? What can you do for yourself that's reasonable and offer for your children? Okay? If you just spread yourself so thin, you will end up in that hospital or in that doctor's office more times. You'll just be playing this game of rotation. I'm going to go to the doctor's office and then I got to, work all this in with all these activities. Okay. Whether it's scouting, whether it's sports, whether any kind of extracurricular activities, you just have to look at the clock, look what your body can do, and then manage this time reasonable thing. So here we are. We're with breathing and meditation. We're talking about what we're putting in our body that stimulates the pancreas. The pancreas is a very, very sensitive organ. Okay, and that organ plays a role in every hormone that is triggered in your body. Okay, whether it's hunger or no hunger or whatever you're dealing with, and if you're constantly stimulating it, it's a stress. Okay, so if you're doing some emotional eating, and a lot of people get confused about drinks and about drinking. I'm going to tell you, drinking your food is not the way to go. It might be, maybe you can do one little thing of, some kind of smoothie each day. That's a part of another program for eating because you need bulk food in your intestines for it to work, because otherwise it's not going to work. So this is really all about pancreas and digestion. Okay, mindful eating. All right, now we're going to go to this one. This is sleep. And for people that know what that means when you don't get any sleep, yeah, it's not a good thing. Irritability. So these two play together. They all play together. All right, now my little puppy's over here talking to me. Now, here we are. One, two, three. Number 4, relationships. Relationships with everything. Your social relationships, your relationships with your activities, with what you're doing, with what you're learning, with the world around you, with everything. So those relationships in your partner and your children and your family. Remember this, relationships, it's a part of every part of your life. Relationships with nature, relationships with your food, relationships with your money. All right, these are relationships. Movement. What kind of movement are you doing? Is it extreme? Are you going to extremes with movement? Okay, we're not trying to like dig our grave early. This movement is about lymphatic movement. It's about getting the heart pumping to a degree where there's some flow, because along that entire circulatory system is a lymphatic system, and you've got to get that movement in. Okay, now we're going to go into some other things that are occurring right now in the world. Let's be realistic with where we need to be. Don't put your trap that you're stuck in onto your parents. So the grandparent trap is a part of the parent trap. You're expecting your parents to do all these outrageous things with you and your children on all these events. Okay, so while my children were going through school, which I loved that they were involved in all kinds of sports, and I saw them excel. They were wonderful. But when they're doing multiple things at one time, it does become overwhelming. And the parents need to realize where they need to be with it all, okay? So one of the things that happened, it starts when they're small, where you're going to put your energy, how that's going to look, because when they get older and they decide, okay, we're all going to college, how many of them are going to be able, where are you going to be able to go? All right, so I had 4 children in 5 years. Each child had an activity at their college. We had 3 to 4 activities that we went to. We mostly, I'm going to say my daughter was gypped a little bit because we mostly went to my son's activities, which were football. So at each location, we went to 1 or more football games on the weekends. Okay, one was in high school, while 2 were in college. So we were doing 1 local, and then we were going to 2 different places where the college football was actually rotating it wherever they played. All right, so you got to think about how this is going to play out over time, and know that what energy are you expelling and what energy are you bringing in? Okay, so for our children, if you start compounding a lot of stress in their younger years, are they going to be able to tolerate it as they go? Now, there's some balance that can be met, and that's reasonable. That's part of the SMART goal. How can we maintain balance as we go so that our bodies are able to function and they don't burn out, and we don't burn out our brains, right? Because this is what happens, burnout. Right now, there's so much going on in the world. We got to really take this all into consideration. And I see that some of the schools are actually taking phones away from the children. There's some really interesting things that are occurring because of everything that's happening with learning situations and with distractions. So I wish you wellness, and don't let the mom trap pull into the grandparent trap, And I know there's a lot of grief in this world right now. That's another thing. Honor the grief, know where you are, and then move on, because we must honor that grief. I've had 2 deaths in August that are anniversary dates. You must honor it, but don't let it pull you and suck you down. You need to find ways to use that energy and that find ways to turn things around. Okay, because you matter. Whatever happened, unfortunately happened, and we need to come to a place of what is going to propel you to your purpose. Diane Greco-Allen, food relationship coach, mostly specialty in pancreatitis, which a lot of young children deal with and they don't realize it, and digestive issues. So if you have anything that you'd like to ask or reach out about, please just send, put a little message in, and I'll send some information down below about how stress impacts children. Have a great day.